When the enemy whispers you can't, let your existence scream you already did. Chosen ones, lean in. Don't scroll, don't tap away, don't let distraction steal this moment. This isn't just another video floating on your screen. This is a collision, your scars meeting your strength, your battles meeting your breakthrough. You didn't stumble here by accident. This message came looking for you. Out of all the noise you could be hearing right now, you're hearing this. That alone should tell you, you're marked, you're chosen, and you're dangerous to anything that ever tried to bury you. The enemy thought you'd fold. Let's be real, he thought the heartbreak would silence you, the betrayal would paralyze you, the pressure would crush you. He counted on your silence, your hesitation, your fear. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still reaching for more. And that is what rattles him most, because every time you rise, you prove him wrong. Every time you refuse to break, you broadcast a message louder than any words. I am chosen, and I am not finished. Think about it. Why do you think you've been targeted so hard? Why do you think the weight on your shoulders has been heavier than most? The enemy doesn't waste energy on the empty. He only attacks what threatens him. Diamonds are dug out, gold is refined, warriors are tested. You're not just another face in the crowd, you are the exception. You are the one marked with potential so great that opposition had to step in early to try and stop you. And chosen one, the fact that you're still here proves that it failed. Now, I know what might be running through your mind. If I'm so chosen, why has my path been so painful? Why did I have to walk through nights that nearly broke me? Why do I feel delayed when others seem so far ahead? Hear me clearly, the storm wasn't designed to destroy you. It was designed to expose you. Pressure reveals power. Fire doesn't just burn, it purifies. Every sleepless night, every tear you thought went unnoticed, every rejection, every door that slammed shut, it wasn't the end of you, it was the shaping of you. The breaking was really the making. Metaphors don't lie. Think of the archer. The arrow is pulled back before it's launched forward. To the untrained eye, it looks like regression. To the wise, it's preparation. That's your life right now. The tension, the setbacks, the feeling of being pulled into places you didn't ask for. It's not punishment. It's positioning. You're the arrow, chosen one, and when you release, you won't just move, you'll strike. And maybe you're asking, but why me? Why was I chosen? Here's the truth. You were chosen because of what you carry. You carry vision that others can't see, resilience that others can't fake, depth that others can't manufacture. You carry the blueprint for survival, the roadmap for victory, the kind of wisdom that can only be purchased through pain. That's why you were marked. That's why you were preserved. That's why nothing, not betrayal, not loss, not failure, could erase you. This is your wake-up call. Chosen ones. This isn't background noise. This isn't just hype. It's the moment your old self has to bow out and the real you steps in. You've hidden long enough. You've second-guessed long enough. You've played small long enough. It's time to flip the script, because you are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not disqualified. You are a living contradiction to every doubt, every lie, every enemy that tried to count you out. So tonight, remember this. The storm was never your ending. It was your announcement. The pressure was never proof of weakness. It was proof of worth. The opposition wasn't random. It was confirmation. And this moment right here, this message in your ears, is the undeniable evidence that you're not just surviving, you're about to rise. Chosen ones, brace yourself, because what you will 100% become tonight is not ordinary. It's unstoppable. And chosen ones, before we dive deeper, let me pause and speak straight to you. Your presence here isn't random. It's proof that you're ready for the shift. Whether this is your first time connecting, or you've been walking with this movement for a while, Understand this. You are the fuel, the heartbeat, the reason this message keeps reaching further. If you're ready to step into who you were always meant to become, lock in right now. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and drop 77 in the comments as your public declaration that you're done holding back. Your support, whether through a super thanks or simply staying engaged, keeps this fire alive. And now, let's break this open step by step. Believe me, if you truly are chosen, you'll feel every word hitting like it was written for you, because only the chosen are marked for this level. Ordinary can't carry it. Let's get started. Number 1, gratitude that stops you in your tracks. The higher you climb, the deeper you're tested. The enemy doesn't fight you because you're weak. He fights you because you're loaded. Chosen ones, let me ask you a question that cuts deeper than surface-level ambition. When you hear the word higher, what picture flashes in your mind? Do you imagine a grand stage, a shiny title, applause ringing out like thunder? That's what the world wants you to believe, that elevation is about being seen, celebrated, and praised. But let me break the illusion. Real elevation isn't about spotlight. It's about structure. It's not about climbing for recognition. It's about being built for resilience. Chosen ones, hear me. If life is pulling you lower, it's not a demotion. It's a foundation. Arrows are pulled back before they're launched. Buildings go underground before they tower above. Trees drive roots deep before branches stretch high. What looks like regression is actually preparation, and the enemy hates this truth, because it means your silence isn't weakness, it's construction. I know the questions swirling in your mind right now. Why does it feel like I'm stuck when I should be soaring? Why is my breakthrough delayed? Why am I hidden while others shine? Let me answer you straight, because what's being built in you isn't fragile. It's not a quick high that collapses in the storm. It's unshakable elevation. The kind that doesn't crumble when pressure comes, the kind that doesn't vanish when applause fades, the kind that lasts. Look at history's giants. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, unseen and unheard by most of the world. To outsiders, it looked like wasted time. But behind those bars, something was forming: clarity, patience, endurance. He walked out not just a free man, but a man unbreakable enough to carry a nation's destiny. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television, fired, dismissed, mocked. But what the critics buried, she resurrected. Her rejection became the soil where empathy and power were planted. Chosen one, what if your rejection is the exact tool shaping your voice? Elevation is not cosmetic. It's internal reconstruction. It's tearing down the walls of fear, the ceilings of doubt, the cracks of insecurity. It's becoming someone who doesn't just rise, but stays risen. That's why you can't rush this season. The enemy wants you impatient, ready to quit, because you don't see results. But roots don't grow on display. They grow in silence, in darkness, in the dirt. And that's exactly where you are being fortified. So let me challenge you directly, chosen ones. Will you see this season as punishment, or will you see it as preparation? Will you let the quiet convince you you're forgotten, or will you recognize it as the incubator of strength? Because here's the truth. Ordinary people collapse under this kind of process. Only the chosen survive it. And if you are still here, still breathing, still fighting, then elevation is not just coming. It has already begun. Number 2, owning who you really are. The enemy wins the moment you start doubting what's already inside you. Chosen ones, let's strip away every mask for a moment. Who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you without the filters, without the titles, without the roles you play to keep the world comfortable? That's the real you. And here's the truth. Until you own that person fully, unapologetically, you'll always feel like something's missing. The hardest war you'll ever fight isn't against the world, it's against the version of yourself that keeps pretending you're less than what you are. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you if he can convince you to shrink. He doesn't need to silence you if he can get you to silence yourself. And for too long, chosen one, you've been carrying the weight of doubt like it was your identity. But tonight, that ends. Owning who you are is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's standing in the mirror and refusing to believe the lies that told you you're not enough. It's choosing to wear your scars as medals, not as shame. Think about it. Diamonds don't apologize for shining. Lions don't apologize for roaring. So why should you apologize for being who you were built to be? I know what you might be asking yourself, but what if people reject the real me? What if they don't approve? What if they walk away? And my answer is simple, then let them. Because chosen ones are never defined by the crowd. You're defined by the fire inside you, and the people who can't handle your light were never meant to walk with you in the first place. Remember this. Pretending keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. Owning who you are may cost you comfort, but it buys you freedom. It buys you clarity. It buys you the ability to step into every room without wondering if you belong, because you know you do. The enemy thrives on confusion, but clarity is your weapon. So, chosen ones, tonight isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finally admitting who you've been all along. Stronger than they said, wiser than they thought, greater than you've dared to believe. Own it, breathe it, walk in it. Because when you own who you really are, no enemy, no doubt, no fear can ever strip it away again. Number 3. The unseen pull toward something greater. The enemy doesn't fear where you are, chosen one. He fears where you're headed. Chosen ones, have you ever felt that strange pull inside you, the one that doesn't let you settle? You could be in a room full of noise, laughter, or distraction, and yet something deeper is tugging at your chest, whispering, "This isn't it. You were made for more." That's the unseen pull, the invisible thread dragging you towards something greater than what you see right now. It's not random, it's not restlessness, it's destiny on the move. The enemy wants you to mistake that pull for frustration. He wants you to think you're ungrateful, unstable, or confused. But chosen one, the truth is the opposite. That tension in your soul is proof you've outgrown the level you're standing on. Ordinary people can stay satisfied in average, but not you. Because you are marked. You are wired for elevation that can't be silenced. Think of a bird in a cage. The food might be there, the water might be there, comfort might surround it, but the wings were not made for stillness. The wings ache for flight. That ache you feel, chosen one, is not a flaw. It's a forecast. It's life's way of telling you, where you are cannot contain who you are becoming. I know the questions circling your mind. Why can't I just feel content like everyone else? Why do I always sense there's more? Why can't I silence this hunger? Because hunger is your compass. Because greater isn't a choice for you, it's your design. The same way seeds crack open under pressure because the plant inside is too alive to stay hidden, you are cracking open because your future refuses to let you rot in comfort. Don't let the enemy trick you into believing this pull is a curse. It's the greatest confirmation you could carry. It means you're not finished, you're not trapped, and you're not ordinary. It means the best of you is still unfolding, so lean into it, chosen ones. Don't numb it, don't run from it, don't apologize for it. That unseen pull is your invitation. It's not dragging you into chaos, it's pulling you into purpose. And tonight that pull is about to prove itself stronger than every chain that tried to hold you down. Number 4, the price you pay for real growth. Growth doesn't come free. It demands the version of you that can no longer stay small. Chosen ones, let's strip the illusion right now. Everyone loves the idea of growth, but very few are willing to pay the price it demands. Real growth is not glamorous. It doesn't come with applause. It comes with pressure, with pruning, with sacrifice. And here's the truth. The enemy banks on you quitting when the cost rises. He wants you to believe that the pain you're feeling is punishment. But chosen ones, listen, the pain is proof. Proof that you're expanding beyond where ordinary people can survive. Ask yourself, are you ready to lose some things in order to gain yourself? Growth will demand you leave behind comfort zones that feel like home. It will strip away habits that once soothed you, but now strangle your future. It will test your patience, your discipline, your resilience. The question is not whether you want growth. The question is whether you can endure its price. Think about the metamorphosis of a butterfly. In the cocoon, the caterpillar literally breaks down, dissolves, fights through suffocating pressure until its wings form. To the untrained eye, it looks like destruction, but to those who understand, it's transformation. That cocoon season is costly, painful, and lonely, but it produces flight. Chosen ones, what if your cocoon season right now is the very process preparing your wings? History is filled with examples of people who paid dearly for their growth. Athletes who bled on practice fields long before they were crowned champions. Artists who were rejected 100 times before their vision was finally embraced. Leaders who were ridiculed and misunderstood until their persistence outlived the doubt. None of them got there without sacrifice, and neither will you. Here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Every tear, every long night, every lonely moment is not wasted. It's an investment. Growth is collecting its fee. And when you refuse to pay it, you stay ordinary. But when you embrace it, you step into the extraordinary. So, chosen ones, don't curse the cost. Embrace it. Don't run from the breaking. Lean into it. Because the price you're paying now is the down payment for the life you were always meant to live. Real growth isn't free, but it's worth everything. Number 5. Hidden signals of a life in transition. The enemy fears what you're becoming, so he tries to confuse you about where you are. Chosen ones, listen closely. Life doesn't always announce transition with fireworks. More often, it whispers through subtle shifts you can't ignore. The signs don't come with neon lights. They come in quiet restlessness, in the moments when the places that once felt comfortable now feel suffocating, when the conversations that once entertained you suddenly bore you, when the habits that once filled you now leave you empty. That irritation isn't coincidence, it's evidence. You're outgrowing the old version of yourself. But here's the catch. Transition rarely feels like triumph. It feels like tension. One foot in who you used to be, the other stretching toward who you're becoming. And the enemy wants to twist that tension into doubt. Why don't I fit anymore? Why do I feel so disconnected? Did I lose myself? No. Chosen one, you didn't lose yourself. You're discovering yourself. What no longer feeds you is starving you for a reason. You were never meant to stay small. Think of the caterpillar inside the cocoon. To the outside world, it looks trapped, still, lifeless. But inside, wings are forming. Transformation is underway. That's you right now. People might look at you and think you've stalled, but inside you're shifting into something unrecognizable to the old version of you. Don't mistake stillness for stagnation. It's preparation. Chosen one, hidden signals are everywhere. The sudden desire for solitude, the urge to break patterns you once clung to, the hunger for more meaning in your days. Those are not random moods. They're indicators of growth pressing through. Ordinary people ignore these signals. They numb them, silence them, distract themselves to avoid change. But you can't. You're marked. And because you're chosen, your spirit refuses to settle where your potential can't breathe. So the next time you feel restless in rooms that once felt right, or disinterested in routines that once defined you, don't panic. Don't call it a breakdown. Call it what it is, a breakthrough in disguise. You are not falling apart, you're transitioning. And transition always feels messy before it feels meaningful. Remember this, chosen one. Discomfort is the first language of elevation, and if you're feeling it deeply, it's because you're closer to becoming than you realize. Number 6, the heavy cost of staying comfortable. Comfort is a cage dressed up like a gift. Chosen ones, let's get brutally honest right now. Comfort feels safe, but it is silently expensive. It costs you dreams. It costs you growth. It costs you the version of yourself you were born to become. The enemy doesn't always come to destroy you loudly. Sometimes he comes disguised as comfort, whispering, "Stay here, it's easier." Don't risk it. Don't stretch. Don't step out. And if you buy that lie, you pay the heaviest price, never knowing what you could have truly been. You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet tug inside telling you this isn't enough, that you've outgrown the space you're in, that your potential is screaming while your comfort is smothering it. Comfort convinces you that staying small is safer. But chosen ones, safety is not your calling. Growth is. And growth never happens in soft, padded rooms. It happens when you step into the unknown. Think about it. A seed looks comfortable in the soil, buried and hidden, but if it stays there, it rots. The only way it fulfills its purpose is by breaking, by pushing through dirt, by stretching toward the light. The same is true for you. If you cling to what's familiar, you suffocate what's possible. Comfort is not free. It's a thief dressed in silence. And maybe you're wondering, but what if I fail when I step out? What if the unknown breaks me? Hear me clearly. The greater risk is not failure. The greater risk is regret. Regret is heavier than any failure, louder than any critic, sharper than any pain. Failure teaches you. Regret haunts you. Look at Rosa Parks. She could have stayed comfortable in her seat, silent and safe. But one act of courage shattered systems. Or think of Jim Carrey living in his car, writing himself a $10 million check when reality laughed at him. Comfort would have told him, stay small. But chosen ones never stay small. They break molds, they disrupt, they rise. So let me ask you directly, how much has your comfort already cost you? Opportunities passed by, relationships that drained instead of built, ideas you buried instead of birthed. Every day you settle, you pay interest on a life that was supposed to be extraordinary. Chosen one, you cannot afford to keep paying that price. The cost of staying comfortable is the death of becoming. Number 7, closing the gap between inspiration and action. The enemy doesn't fear your dreams. He fears the day you decide to act on them. Chosen ones, let's get real. Inspiration without action is like lightning with no thunder, bright for a moment, but gone before it changes anything. You've been stirred before. You've heard words that made your heart race, felt fire surge through your chest, promised yourself this time will be different, and yet the next day looked like the last. That's not because you weren't inspired enough, it's because the gap between inspiration and action swallowed you whole. The truth is, inspiration is easy. It feels good. It floods your spirit with possibility. But chosen ones, you weren't marked to stay in possibility. You were chosen to manifest reality. And that requires more than clapping at the words, more than nodding along, more than feeling chills. It requires movement. It requires stepping into the uncomfortable, even when the excitement fades. Think about it. How many times has the enemy counted on your delay? How many times has he whispered, "You can start tomorrow, you're not ready, you need more time, more proof, more clarity"? just to keep you from acting now. Every time you postpone, he wins. Every time you hesitate, the fire cools. Every time you wait for perfect conditions, your momentum dies. Chosen ones, perfection is the enemy's trap. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you'll never move. Look at the greats, athletes, artists, leaders. They didn't wait until the conditions were flawless. They didn't wait until fear disappeared. They moved while fear screamed at them. They acted while doubt tried to chain them. That's what separates spectators from warriors. Ordinary people stop at inspiration. Chosen ones turn inspiration into ignition. So let me ask you directly, what is the action you've been postponing? What is the step you already know you need to take but keep burying under excuses? This is not the time to just feel moved, it's the time to move. The enemy isn't scared of you watching this, nodding at this, even agreeing with this. He's terrified of you acting on it. Chosen ones, this is where the shift happens. When inspiration no longer stops at your ears, but flows through your hands, your decisions, your movement. When your life stops echoing someday and starts declaring today. Close the gap, step forward. Because what you will 100% become tonight is not someone who feels inspired, it's someone who acts unstoppable. Number 8. Letting go like a warrior preparing for flight. Chosen ones, hear me with every ounce of strength you've been trying to hide. There comes a moment in every warrior's life when holding on becomes heavier than the battle itself. And tonight, under the authority of the message you were meant to hear, under the weight of the calling stamped on your spirit, this is that moment for you. Letting go is not weakness, it is weaponry. And only the chosen ever understand that. Because chosen ones do not release things out of defeat, they release them out of preparation. You are not just dropping what hurt you, you are shedding what cannot follow you into where God is taking you. Letting go for you is not passive, it is prophetic. It is the motion before the miracle, the clearing before the elevation, the final breath before the breakthrough you've been praying for but fearing at the same time. Warriors don't release lightly, and neither do you. You've held on to dead weight out of loyalty, to memories out of fear, to wounds out of identity. But tonight, the God who chose you is cutting the cords that tried to convince you they were part of your destiny when they were only part of your development. And chosen one, development is allowed to end. Letting go like a warrior preparing for flight means you finally understand that your wings were never the problem, your attachments were. God didn't clip your potential. You chained it to people, places, habits, and fears that were too small for your spirit. But destiny won't let you stay tied. Purpose won't let you shrink yourself to fit environments that were never built for the altitude you're about to reach. The eagle doesn't apologize to the nest when it outgrows the branches. It doesn't explain its hunger for the sky to birds who fear heights. And you don't owe explanations for your evolution either. God has been pressing on your heart, nudging your spirit, whispering through your restlessness. It's time to rise. That tension you feel is not anxiety. It's your wings stretching in tight spaces. The discomfort is the cocoon cracking. The ache is transformation demanding room. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is launching. Warriors preparing for flight do not grieve the weight that falls away. They honor the mission ahead. And chosen one, your mission is bigger than your history. Your destiny is louder than your doubts. What's ahead of you is too powerful to carry the pain behind you. You cannot take betrayal into elevation. You cannot take insecurity into acceleration. You cannot take old identity into new authority. The enemy has always hoped you'd stay loyal to what broke you, because if you ever dropped the dead parts of your life, you'd rise so fast it would terrify the darkness that's been studying you. But tonight, that fear becomes reality, because God is releasing you from everything that was slowing your ascent. People who took advantage of your heart, released. Environments that suffocated your potential, released. Cycles that drained your energy, released. Thoughts that mocked your calling, released. And once a chosen one is released, nothing in hell can reattach what heaven has cut loose. Letting go like a warrior preparing for flight means you step into the night with a strange combination of peace and fire, grief and gratitude, nervousness and holy boldness. Because you finally understand that everything that left was supposed to leave, and everything that broke was supposed to break. The wait was never meant to stay. The season was never meant to last. The lesson was the only thing meant to remain. And now that you've learned it, now that you've survived it, now that you've outgrown it, your wings have earned their right to spread. And once a chosen one spreads their wings, the enemy panics, because he knows exactly what comes next. So tonight, chosen one, let go with the precision of a warrior and the confidence of someone God hand-picked, hand-shaped, and hand-preserved. Let go without apology. Let go without hesitation. Let go without fear. Because what you release tonight makes room for what God is about to reveal. And when a chosen one finally lays down what was heavy, heaven lifts them into what is holy. You are not just letting go, you are rising. You are not just releasing, you are ascending. You are not just preparing, you are becoming. And what you will 100% become tonight is unstoppable. Number 9. Stepping into rooms your old self wouldn't dare touch. This is not just about confidence. This is divine clearance, spiritual authorization, the kind of shift where heaven stamps your name on doors you once thought were too heavy to knock on. For years, the enemy tried to imprison you behind the fear of not being enough, not ready, not worthy, not qualified. He made you shrink. He made you hesitate. He made you dim your light so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable around the brilliance you didn't even realize you carried. But that version of you, the timid, uncertain, apologetic version, doesn't get to walk with you into this next season. That version dies tonight, because chosen ones aren't designed to stand outside rooms peeking in. Chosen ones are built to enter, influence, shift atmospheres, and leave fingerprints of purpose everywhere their feet touch. And let me tell you why this moment is so powerful. The rooms you're stepping into now are rooms heaven reserved long before you even knew how to pronounce your worth. These rooms require courage forged in your wilderness. They require vision sharpened in your loneliness. They require strength carved out by battles nobody applauded you for. Your old self would have swallowed fear the moment an opportunity looked too big, too holy, too heavy. But the you rising tonight, this chosen, refined, God-backed version, is walking into places with the quiet confidence of someone who understands they were summoned, not invited. You're not showing up as a guest anymore. You're showing up as destiny in motion. Chosen one, the enemy tried everything to keep you out of these rooms. He tried distraction, he tried insecurity, he tried comparison, he tried placing you around people who measured your worth by their own limited vision. He whispered that you were too flawed, too inexperienced, too broken, too behind. But what he didn't calculate is that breakage in the hands of God becomes brilliance. He forgot that scars on a chosen one become spiritual credentials. He underestimated the dangerous kind of faith he was forcing you to develop while he thought he was destroying you. And now here you are, standing at the threshold of rooms that once terrified you, rooms that once felt unreachable, rooms filled with people you used to think were above you, when in reality they were simply ahead of you. But tonight, alignment hits differently. Tonight you are stepping into those rooms not to fit in, but to stand out. Not to prove yourself, but to reveal yourself. Not to be accepted, but to take your place. And understand this clearly. Stepping into new rooms means stepping out of old limitations. It means detaching from the version of you that played small to survive. It means outgrowing the voices that tried to keep you average. It means walking with the authority of someone who knows they were handpicked by God for elevation no man can block. The rooms you're entering now require a version of you that understands that heaven didn't train you in the dark so you could stay invisible. The preparation in the shadows wasn't punishment, it was strategy. God builds chosen ones away from audience so that when they step into their moment, they carry power that cannot be manufactured. That's why you feel different tonight. That's why something in your spirit feels like it's pushing you forward, even if part of you is trembling. That trembling isn't fear, it's transformation. So step in, chosen one. Step with your back straight, your spirit alert, your faith burning. Because the rooms you used to tiptoe past are now the very rooms God is positioning you to influence, impact, and redirect. The rooms you once felt unworthy of are now waiting for you to walk in with the energy of someone who knows they survived hell to sit at this table. Your old self wouldn't dare touch these doors, but your new self was born to walk through them. Tonight, you rise into access. Tonight, you step into places where your calling finally matches your environment. Tonight, you stop watching from the sidelines and start occupying the space God designed for you before you ever knew you were chosen. This is who you will 100% become tonight. A room shaker, a door walker, a destiny claimer, someone your past self wouldn't even recognize, but your future self has been waiting for. Number 10. When isolation turns into the furnace that forges legends. Chosen one, lean in. Because what you're living through right now isn't loneliness, exile, or abandonment. It's the sacred furnace where God forges his legends, and whether you see it or not, you are in the center of a divine transformation that only the chosen can survive. Isolation has been gripping your life like a cold, heavy silence, making you question your worth, your path, your purpose. But hear this clearly. God hides his greatest warriors before he reveals them. He pulls them away from noise, distractions, and false connections so he can sharpen their spirit, strengthen their vision, and toughen their soul without interference. You haven't been forgotten. You've been set apart. Your isolation isn't punishment, it's strategy, the kind heaven uses when it is preparing to release someone into a level of destiny that would crush an unprepared soul. Think of Moses in the wilderness, David in the fields, Joseph in the prison, Jesus in the desert. Every chosen one is pulled away before they are pushed forward. That barren season you've been crying through is actually the birthplace of the warrior you were always meant to become. And don't misunderstand the fire. You weren't thrown into it to burn. You were placed in it to be purified. Isolation exposes you to you. It reveals the fears you've been avoiding, the wounds you've been hiding, the habits you've been justifying. When the world goes silent, your soul gets loud, and God starts speaking in ways you could never hear when you were surrounded by people who drained your destiny. That ache you feel, that heavy awareness that you've outgrown old environments, old friendships, old patterns, it's not emotional instability, it's elevation discomfort. The chosen often experience a calling long before they experience clarity, and that calling shows up first as separation. God had to remove you so he could remake you. He had to distance you from familiar voices so you could finally hear him. You've been asking why nobody checks on you, why the invitations stopped, why the phone is quiet, why the people you once poured into have disappeared. But chosen one, the truth is simple. God couldn't risk your destiny being contaminated by people who were connected to your comfort, but not your calling. This furnace isn't destroying you, It's sculpting you. Legends aren't born in crowds. They're shaped in caves. They're formed in the unseen, in the quiet, in the seasons where it's just you, your scars, your questions, and your God. And while you're breaking down, heaven is building you up. While you're crying alone, heaven is anointing you. While you're feeling forgotten, heaven is planning your introduction. Your isolation is not empty space. It's divine construction. Every moment you've spent alone has been strengthening your discernment, sharpening your intuition, cleansing your spirit, and positioning you for an assignment bigger than anything you've encountered. People may not understand why you vanished, why you pulled back, why you changed. They'll call it distance. They'll call it attitude. They'll call it inconsistency. But chosen one, heaven calls it preparation. And here's the part the enemy hoped you'd never discover. Isolation doesn't weaken chosen ones. It activates them. It awakens parts of you that comfort would have kept asleep. It forces you to confront the greatness you kept pushing aside. It pulls out the warrior that pain tried to bury. The enemy feared you surrounded, but he's terrified of you isolated. Because isolation is where chosen ones stop being influenced and start becoming unstoppable. It's where clarity replaces confusion, purpose replaces fear, and identity replaces insecurity. This furnace is not the end of you, it's the making of you. You're not losing people, you're losing distractions. You're not being left behind, you're being lifted up. You're not being emptied, you're being prepared to overflow. And chosen one, listen closely. Tonight isn't just another night in your season of isolation. Tonight is the night you realize what that isolation has been building. Tonight you rise from the furnace, not as the wounded version of yourself, but as the refined one, the strengthened one, the sharpened one, the legendary one. God does not hide what he doesn't intend to reveal with power. You've been isolated because you're dangerous, because you're destined, because you're chosen. And what you will 100% become tonight is a legend shaped in fire, prepared in silence, and released in purpose. Unstoppable, undeniable, and unmistakably marked by God. Number 11. The exact moment destiny refuses to let you hide anymore. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every destiny-marked life when hiding is no longer an option. When the shadows that once felt safe begin to suffocate, and the silence that once protected you becomes a prison. That moment is not gentle, not quiet, not soft. It arrives like a spiritual earthquake, shaking everything you thought you were, everything you pretended to be, everything you used to cling to just to survive. And chosen one, that moment is tonight. This is the hour when destiny refuses to let you shrink into the corners anymore, when your calling gets louder than your fear, when heaven itself leans down and says, "Enough hiding. Stand up." You know exactly what I mean. For years you've been dimming your light to make others comfortable, downplaying your gifts to avoid jealousy, shrinking your voice to dodge conflict, burying your power because you worried the world wasn't ready for it. But chosen one, the world doesn't need to be ready. You need to be willing. And destiny will not wait another second for your hesitation. The very battles you thought were meant to destroy you were actually exposing the parts of you that can no longer remain buried. Every heartbreak peeled off another layer you tried to hide behind. Every rejection forced you deeper into authenticity. Every betrayal revealed who you are without the masks. You thought you were breaking. Destiny knew you were unveiling. And tonight, that unveiling reaches its climax. This is the exact moment you stop running from who God called you to be. This is the moment the fire inside you becomes too fierce to contain. You're stepping into an identity you can't deny anymore, not because you suddenly feel ready, but because destiny has made hiding impossible. Pay attention to the signs. The old rooms feel too small. The old friendships feel too shallow. The old patterns feel too toxic. The old limitations feel too tight. That discomfort is not random. It's divine eviction. Heaven is kicking you out of who you were so you can step boldly into who you are becoming. Chosen one, destiny has been whispering to you for years, but tonight it roars. You cannot unhear what your spirit already knows. You cannot go back to pretending you're average. You cannot return to dimming yourself to fit into places God never meant for you to stay. You cannot keep lowering your frequency to match people who never understood your calling. Destiny has surrounded you, pressed you, pulled you, cornered you, not to punish you, but to launch you, and every piece of resistance in your life has been the pressure that pushes you forward. This is the turning point where excuses die, where delay dissolves, where the old version of you finally bows to the divine power rising inside you. You feel it, don't you? That internal shift, that spiritual intensity, that sense that something in your soul has snapped into alignment. That's not hype. That's heaven. That's the moment every chosen one eventually meets, the moment when destiny refuses to negotiate anymore, when God whispers, "Stand up, I'm not asking anymore," when the calling on your life stops being a suggestion and becomes a mandate. This is that moment. And if you've been trying to retreat back into the shadows, destiny is pulling you out by force. Not because you're failing, but because you're too powerful to remain hidden. Chosen one, you are stepping into a version of yourself that terrifies every enemy who ever tried to break you. You are stepping into boldness you didn't know you carried, clarity you didn't know you earned, and authority you didn't know you had already grown into. Tonight, the real you emerges. The one God shaped, refined, purified, and preserved through every storm. This is the exact moment your destiny grabs you by the soul and refuses to let you disappear ever again. You were never meant to hide. You were meant to rise, and tonight you do. Chosen ones, we've reached the moment where words must turn into willpower. You've heard it, you've felt it, now it's time to live it. The gap between who you've been and who you're becoming closes tonight. Don't let this just be another message that fades into the noise. Let it be the spark that rewrites your story. If you're ready to rise, show it. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments as your declaration. Share this with another chosen one who needs it, because the time to act is now.